to Lijiang Tower for our first of our best of 5.
And as the first map, Lijiang Tower, it's actually one of only 3 control maps in this best of 5 series. Ilios and Nepal are also scheduled to make appearances. Eichenwalde and Volskaya are the other 2, so lots of control ahead of us potentially. I mean, we could just see this one and the losing team takes it away from control, but Reunited, I think the last time we saw them, they actually 3-0'd Dignitas here on Lijiang Tower, so very strong potential here. They have a lot of individually skilled players. Cruz on that Genji at all times, Valutaja on the Tracer at all times, Unfixed kind of being the only really flexible player between Soldier, Pharah, Reaper, and Diva. Everyone else on ex-REUNITED has been sticking to their guns and doing a great job at it so far. And out of GamersOrigin here, I don't expect to see really any of these. Hype really loves the Sombra on control, but I think it's worked 1 out of the last 3 times. We'll just have to see if he wants to go for it again.
Yeah, and this is where stuff is going to get very, very interesting. GamersOrigin, I mean, I think a lot of teams actually know what they're going to be bringing, but that's going to be soon for later. Let's go. Let's jump on with Leaf right now on the Genji for Team GamersOrigin, and he's going to charge in almost immediately, and we do hear the health pack being hacked by Sombra in the background. They just want to generate that. In the meantime, Volataja already being super aggressive. He wants to make sure that they're paying attention to him, not the rest of the team, and in the meantime, we're going to catch on with Unfixed there with most of the people in the background. Poco will go down from Sharaki, and that is going to result in their DPS going down for the meantime. And this sustained fight just going on for a relatively long time, actually.
Strong start here from ex-REUNITED, just kept Unfixed back with the healers, and they were able to free fire out. I don't think GamersOrigin really had a strategy to try and get into the back line. Their comp is really not set up for that, unless you count basically Sombra needing to set up ahead of time. Valutaja actually goes down to a straight Helix rocket there from Coco, so this is a great opportunity to move in. EMP goes in, but I'm not sure how many targets he actually hit with it. I don't really see a lot of hack stuff there. Maybe 2 or 3 people got hit in total, but it's enough to secure the kill on Rubicon, and GamersOrigin's right back in here flipping the point.
Yeah, and this is getting very aggressive. Volataja now has his pulse bomb, looking for a good stick out the back. Takes 2 down. Actually takes 1 down. Poco, I thought he took down the Tracer as well, but now he's going to be hunting down Norwalk, trying to stay alive for as long as he can. Ben Best going after Volataja, but Volataja staying out of the range right now, staying alive, and that's what he has to do. He has to stay scrappy, make sure he stays alive. He doesn't want to die at all, but Unfixed will take down Ben Best, and now HYP using that translate to get out of trouble. Norwalk's actually been super low on all his HP right now in the background. Leaf trying to chase down Unfixed from the front, but gets taken away by Sharaki from the back.
As it is, it's ex-REUNITED flipping the point a second time. It's very back and forth, bloody battle so far. Leaf is staying on that Genji after using the Dragon Blade. I wondered if he might consider swapping over to a second tank or something like that, but the compositions basically mirrors here at this point, except ex-REUNITED have a ton of ultimates available. They could go for the Dragon Blade or Attack Visor at any point. Poco does have Attack Visor of his own to challenge back, but Ben Best now getting his Primal Rage could be a valuable tool as well. Rubicon pops Transcendence like immediately to start this fight along with that sound barrier, so ex-REUNITED blowing both of their support ultimates to kind of engage the fight, and GamersOrigin just kind of walk off the point.
Yeah, and this is where the ultimate being held is going to go for the advantage. Now, ex-REUNITED has managed to secure most percentages on here. They're up to 69% currently, and Cruz actually turns around at the wrong time behind him. Poco is dealing with them. If he can fight Poco at this speed, he's probably fighting a 1v2 right now, trying to get out of the way, but Unfixed going to pop the ultimate and making sure he's trying to drill down as many people as possible. He's going to get knocked out by the Primal Rage from Ben Best, so that means that GamersOrigin able to develop a slight advantage, and that also means that they're expiring so many ultimates in the background. You know, once again, Primal Rage being used by Sharik just to stay alive and knock people off of the point. Volataja will go down for Norwalk though, and Norwalk once again will take that Sharik, so that will be a revert on the point by GamersOrigin.
As it is, HYP actually switching off of Sombra back onto Zenyatta did actually end up making the difference there. They, instead of saying if you can't beat them, join them, well, actually they're just going to try and beat them with the exact same characters. So ex-REUNITED, they do have still the Dragon Blade to work with. Cruz might be able to find some squishy targets in the back. Leaf is doing a good job staying on top of him, but Cruz does get 1 swipe kill onto HYP. Losing that Zenyatta could be a bit tough. Noki falling there as well on the point means ex-REUNITED have a great chance to flip this point back, and Poco actually just lighting into the damage dealers here. This could still be anyone's point, I suppose, but with the loss of Ben Best on Winston, they've lost their HP presence, and now it's really into trickle mode here, 99% as Genji gets back onto the point. I don't think he's going to be able to do much for long. He's already used his deflect, and no one else there from GamersOrigin is able to touch the point. That's going to be the first point going to ex-REUNITED.
Yeah, this is one of the hardest things to keep track of, because every time I was trying to switch to a GamersOrigin player, they're actually going to get blown out of the water, actually. So might as well just stick to the tried and true Voltage switch in case we find someone who is dead in that aspect. But yeah, REUNITED taking the first round of this Lijiang Tower map pretty decisively. In fact, they're actually making GamersOrigin play the competition they want to play, and REUNITED has been playing this all tournament long. They've been so strong on this, and we're going to focus on them right now. Leaf is going to make the slight adjustment now. He is going to go on to the Pharah, but the benefit of REUNITED's composition is that they still do have a hit scan to deal with this.
I think, yeah, Pharah has come into play a couple of times, specifically here on the Garden level. I think Unfixed himself was playing that Pharah pretty ruthlessly. Maybe that was Dorado, and I'm thinking of a different Pharah here. I think it might have been Toxicant actually from Dignitas that's sticking in my mind. But either way, Pharahs have been making big plays throughout. Winston falls off immediately. Ben Best getting booped off right after using his leap. Terrible start here for GamersOrigin, but Morte goes down as well, so still fairly even across the board.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Cruz is trying to deal Leaf one-on-one, but fortunately Leaf just has that AoE damage, makes it a lot easier to take him down specifically. Unfixed, meantime, taking down Morlock, and now this is where the problems are starting to arise. The fact is that GamersOrigin just doesn't have control of the inner point, and they finally will get the point taken. Unfixed will be going down. I don't think Unfixed planned to be going down anyway at that point. He wanted to contest the point. However, GamersOrigin will be slowly taking on the point. Cruz in the background tries to sneak in, but he will be dashing back to the health pack just so he can stay alive at all. And this is going to be huge on their end. They want to reset for that six-man push. Again, Leaf is going to be, of course, one of the pains that they're going to deal with right now. That's one of the hardest things to deal with is a Pharah unless you have a dependable DPS character, hit-scan character to drill them out of the sky, and of course, Unfixed is that option for them.
Unfixed, yeah, as the soldier needs to be the one to take out Leaf. Leaf scoring the kill on Valutaja just gives them another great chance of winning this fight overall. Rubicon jumping over Rockets right there. Lasts a surprisingly long time. It does fall in the end to Leaf. Morte does finally secure that kill, but Cruz going down to Narwhal shows that these GamersOrigin guys can really hang with ex-REUNITED, even playing those specialty characters, Tracer and Genji. They did great last point. What just happened? Sharik missed his jump. I totally just watched him leap into the breach for no reason. There was no one touching him, so complete goof there from Sharik. Does not help ex-REUNITED in this case.
Yeah, it possibly could be the fatigue from playing all day, but they have been able to regroup so far. They will be trying this again. They're trying to re-gauge on the point. And now, the thing is, on GamersOrigin, that they have a lot of ultimates they can potentially use. But I'm going to actually stay on to Voltage right now as he's in the background, hopefully going to do something. Unfixed pulls on the tactical visor, that nano visor, and takes down 4 people. Wait, never mind. I guess I switched on to the wrong carry on this team. But REUNITED able to use that quadra kill on that device to regain the point. Now, finally getting the first ticks on there. They will have 9% going into this next push. Now, the only saving grace for the side of GamersOrigin is the fact that they have not used a lot of ultimates. They still have the ability to do this. Voltage is still alive, looking for HYP. HYP zoned up in the background, but in the background, yes, the Rocket Barrage will be taken care of. Unfixed able to knock him out of the sky. Cruz still sitting on his Dragon Blade, still has the option to use it to execute if needed. Charlotte K uses the Primal Rage to make sure he doesn't die, and instead pushes people off of the point. And now Norwalk is alone with Ben Best, and now REUNITED able to use it to their benefit. They've been able to push them back, and for the best knowledge, everyone on the side of GamersOrigin is backing off.
One result of having so many DPS players on the field at once means that you never really know how a fight is going to turn compared to the quad tank meta, for example. Usually, when the first tank fell, you knew who was going to win that fight. But with so many DPS characters, so much burst potential, you never really know which ult is going to turn on, which Helix Rocket is going to find its target. Poco gets a triple there, double with his attack visor, and the Helix Rocket getting the kill on Unfixed. That's going to be an easy take in the end for GamersOrigin, and now they're in a position where they can hold off 1, maybe 2 more pushes from ex-REUNITED. They could bring this map score back to 1-1.
Yeah, and Norwalk has been the person to watch. He's been such a strong tracer, especially when winning these duels, and he's going to need to specifically against Volataja. But right now, they have a lot of support ultimates. They can potentially stall out a lot more. So Cruz's Genji Blade is not going to be that effective if he's going to run into both Sound Barrier and Transcendence. And that Sound Barrier has been dropped, and HYP's looking in the background. He's trying to make sure that Cruz is unable to kill anyone at all. Transcendence is keeping everyone alive. There is no reason Leaf stays alive despite all of this. And yes, Tactical Visor will be used on the side of Unfixed, but Unfixed not able to pick up any kills. HYP does stray out of the shield and is able to get picked off. However, Unfixed staying alive, and now the Reunited is filtering back onto the point. They're drilling down Ben Best. Ben Best is alone right now, not really able to do much, but Leaf will be giving him support fire, and Unfixed will be going down, meaning that one of the biggest DPS presences on the map will be down. But Leaf has strayed off the point. He did not want to get picked off in this instance, so the point has switched, and now he's alone against Volataja and on the side of Morte, trying to do as best as he can. Morte dodging it, and unfortunately dodges right into a rocket, and Leaf now has the advantage for the side of GamersOrigin.
Yeah, Farah actually did a great job just staying alive over there, hovering around 80% of his health. Still actually in a little bit of danger, but does last long enough to drop the barrage directly onto Rubicon. That ends up getting Cruz with it as well. That gives his team a big, wide open door. Noki coming in, getting a frag of his own, killing Unfixed is really huge for them. Morte drops the Sound Barrier to try and keep ex-REUNITED alive on the point, and that's actually where GamersOrigin needs to be right now. They need to get this flipped over and go ahead and secure this overtime ticking down. If they can get it flipped before Cruz sets foot in there, that'll be even better. Now they're in a position where they can really take this round. Leaf getting the kill on Cruz certainly helps. Anna off on her own there. Rubicon gets surrounded and destroyed, and that will be overtime ticking down 1-1 now on Lijiang Tower to get us started for this grand final.
Yeah, and that was actually a really interesting fight by the side of GamersOrigin, being able to take this so decisively. Leaf just didn't seem to have anyone. No one was able to answer Leaf, and it wasn't just the fact he was landing projectiles. It was all the fact he was staying alive for so long. So even when, for example, we saw Volataja and Morte on the point trying to stall it as long as they could, Leaf was still in the corner. He was still alive on there, so it was very hard to, for the side of Reunited to actually stabilize. They were always dealing with a threat, and they need to be able to take him out of the sky. Luckily, Leaf will be switching off onto Genji, so this will be another close match, but they won't have to deal with his air presence this time.
That's true. Without the Pharah on the board, things change back to what we saw in Control Center, which is just a complete mirror across the board again. So I would not really want to be the one to try to challenge ex-REUNITED in this endeavor, as Volataja is just the immortal god tracer. Cruz always hits the money Dragon Blades, but GamersOrigin have been sticking toe-to-toe with them. The last point went their favor, I think, mostly on the shoulders of Leaf's Pharah, but now we're back in the mirror match mode, and it's going to be ex-REUNITED pressing the issue here with a nice charge up there. We'll see if Sharik can get the target he's looking for, but no, he's actually denied, and Leaf will be the first one down, but it's going to be ex-REUNITED getting the numbers in the end, heading to the point first.
Yeah, Rubicon will be going down and just gets caught by that statue, and that's not good because there's no safe angle to peek that out. But Volataja, being extremely aggressive, will be pushing out of the point. Now, Noki and Poco have now been able to stay on the point. They need to find a way to destroy Sharike as he's jumping off. He does manage to stay alive, but Ben Best will take down Morte, and this is the great retake from the side of GamersOrigin, able to push it to their advantage, and now they're trying to hunt down Cruz. Cruz gets taken down very easily, so 15% is not a large number at all in terms of your first take. So they're more than happy, but Rubicon! How does he keep doing this? This guy frags like a monster.
I was just going to give props to Poco, but then, of course, he gets eliminated immediately after that. I was going to say Poco was playing the D.Va and Zarya kind of throughout the series yesterday and today, but every time he gets on Soldier, you see him in that kill feed pretty often. And Narwhal, if anyone, has actually kind of been the weaker link of this GamersOrigin team today. Just here on Lijiang Tower, hasn't really been lighting up the kill feed like his teammates have. And with the Pulse Bomb whiff there, I don't think that is helping his case much. HYP gets the kill on Sharik. Rubicon goes down as well, and this should be GamersOrigin dead set on flipping that point back.
Yeah, Voltage is still in the back and still alive for that matter, so it's going to be another one of those hero moves. He's going to have to stay alive. Recall does not come up just in time for that, so you will have to fight this out the rest of the way. GamersOrigin should be changing the point, but Sharike is going to stall it out for just a little more. 53% on the clock right now. He should be able to keep it up alive. Rubicon Man, good job reflecting that. That could have been bad news bears for Leaf if he had gotten taken down. But on the plus side, GamersOrigin has been able to, regroup, has been able to, stabilize their position on the point. Rubicon now has ultimate though, so he should be able to allow them to dive deep if they need to, and more importantly, Cruz with the Dragon Blade has been so good with those in the past. But in the meantime, it will be about how Hype is better able to make sure that everyone sustains alive on his team.
Oh, Dragon Blade out immediately. Leaf looking for some squishy targets. Does find Cruz pretty, quick off the bat there. Narwhal getting the kill on Rubicon as well. Heard me talking about his Tracer earlier. Wanted to get back in on the action. Got a nice kill for himself. Poco showing up again. Helix Rockets. Every time I feel like he's got heat-seeking Helix Rockets, as it just is always in the feed. And ex-REUNITED doing a great job there without spending any ultimates, able to maintain the point when it looked like they should not have been able to, just getting the individual kills without burning their biggest tools, which are those ultimates.
On the side of Reunited, the ex-Reunited lineup, they have 5 ultimates, and this is more than enough. That sound barrier does get used relatively early, try to mitigate some damage, or at least make the dive in a lot easier. However, it doesn't really necessarily look like that's going to be enough for them. Hype will be hunted down in the background, but will stay alive for the time being. Voltage gets taken down by Norwalk, so this fight is actually getting relatively out of shape right now. Unfixed trying his best to use his long range distance to attack from a distance. It looks like Cruz will be popping that Dragon Blade in the background. Porco can't do much, in fact, and most of it gets reflected back to each other, but it's all about Unfixed right now. Unfixed in the background using his tactical visor to take down 3 and damaging so many more, and Reunited will be taking this 3rd round of Lijiang Tower, bring their lead to 2-1.
Yeah, 4 ults go off at the very end there just to ensure victory. Soldier ult, Primal Rage from Winston actually sent Noki flying off the back of the point, so really good play from ex-REUNITED. Everyone showing off on their favorite characters. We are bringing it back to Garden now, though. Leaf instantly swaps back over to that Pharah, so Unfixed will be back on bird duty this time. If he can actually keep Pharah from terrorizing the skies, ex-REUNITED should have a shot at closing this map out. It seems like across the board, ex-REUNITED still playing a bit stronger on the characters that they've chosen, but Leaf with that Pharah does introduce enough of an interesting variable that shakes up the competition a little bit. Neither team choosing to go for 2 tanks just yet is interesting, but Rubicon staying on Ana and Hype staying on Zen is another kind of key difference in this fight here.
Yeah, and Leaf immediately taking down Morte is not what you want to see on the side of ex-REUNITED. When one of your healers goes down that early in the fight, it's hard to stay in for the rest of it, but you don't need to worry about it if you're Voltage, as Voltage will stay alive. Actually goes down super low, but Sam manages to still stay alive in the meantime. And Leaf, I think Leaf may have just accidentally died, but I think he will be able to survive if he stalls long enough. But meanwhile, Reunited able to use the advantage. Unfixed has been the unsung hero. He has not been, the focal point of this cast, but yet at the same time, he's been getting all these crucial kills in the background, and he's going to be the key to defeating Leaf.
It's almost like when Valutaja and Cruz are out of gas, that's when they finally say, all right, Unfixed, just hit the button. Valutaja just died, or Cruz just died, or whatever. They need to recover. Just hit the button, and we'll get a free reset. 2% now for GamersOrigins. They did manage to flip it at the beginning of that fight and hunted down Cruz pretty swiftly there. Valutaja also goes down, so it's going to be a bit of a slow reset here for ex-REUNITED. Cruz back into battle now, but they will need to choose how are they going to actually progress from here. Will they take the bridge side, since everyone can basically fling themselves across this moat, or will they head over to the white room? Unfixed is kind of like the least mobile character along with Rubicon here for ex-REUNITED.
Yeah, and Voltage is ready in the background. His recall back to the point, and this is where it's going to get relatively difficult. Unfixed takes down so many people with this tactical visor, taking down Noki and Poco, and Voltage is stopping anyone from getting entry in there. Leaf tries to do his best to contain the point, but unfortunately gets mowed down by Morte in the combination of Unfixed. I don't know how Unfixed is getting so many of these great tactical visors. It almost feels like he's in the perfect position every time, and being able to allows them to use the point, and that's part about this entire thing from ex-REUNITED. Cruz still has Nano Blade. I wonder if Poco will be able to match his effort. He still does have the tactical visor. If his team can create enough room for him, he should be fine, but Shark is making that so much more difficult.
Shark right up in the face of several GamersOrigin members, while the people who actually did jump straight onto the point were you know, pretty easily eliminated as Winston and Tracer both go down there. They're going to need a cohesive push. It's kind of their last opportunity, 53%. ex-REUNITED is already up 2-1 here on Lijiang Tower, so they really can't afford to blow any of these pushes now. Winston jumping in immediately. Benbest trying to find a target there. Sound Barrier comes out on the side of ex-REUNITED. Poco's dead already. Sherrick is about to go down, but does manage to survive long enough. He does have Primal Rage still in tow as well. Poco being dead means a lack of offense coming out here and nothing dying on the side of ex-REUNITED. Leaf finally does find a kill on Cruz. Both Tracers are down now as well, so we got a bit of Winston fight. Benbez actually ends up in the pit again. Looks like, I don't know if that was a combination of himself just jumping off or Lucio booping him. A lot was going on there, but he ends up in the pit. And it's going to be GamersOrigin with just a Lucio and a Tracer trying to kill 4 ex-REUNITED members. Not going to happen here.
I don't know how Unfixed is so good without a tactical visor. He's been able to duel out Poco, who has, who's attempted honestly to use that tactical visor for Ben, but doesn't get that much kills. And now Unfixed able to lock in, and in the background you see Lee trying his best to do everything. But when you're using that tactical, you're using that Dragon Blade, you do not want to be reflecting at all. And Unfixed is gonna punish you for that. How is he getting kills? He's just shaking his mouse around and picking up headshots, and that's more than enough what they need to reunite it to do. He should be able to push it, and it looks like GamersOrigin, no way to get back onto the point. First round and first map, Lijiang Tower goes to the side of ex-REUNITED.
Yep, ex-REUNITED takes a strong lead here in the series, 1-0 in this BO5, and they know that Control is 2 of the other 4 maps in the pool. So it's up to GamersOrigin now to decide between the lovely choices of Eichenwalde or Volskaya if they want to try to take it away from Control. Otherwise, they've got to head straight to Nepal or Ilios to keep the series going. Good stuff there in Play the Match. We'll be headed back to the lobby now, but a 3-1 start for ex-REUNITED. They've got to feel good about their odds here with the map pool that they have. Ilios and Nepal also being here just plays to the same exact strengths. Did we lose you, Scribe? You get muted?
No, I'm still here, guys. I'm just trying to absorb. I'm actually watching the delay and trying to figure out how Unfixed has been getting all those kills. He's just and we talked about the reason why we've been watching so much of Voltage of Cruz is because for the earlier part of these matches they've been the catalyst for a lot of this. Unfixed has kind of been more of a background character, yet now that teams are starting to focus more on Voltage, they're trying to shut down his Tracer. The fact that a Soldier is able to take dominant control of this composition is so strong. And then let's be honest, the Soldier has nothing to stop him. The only thing he's dealing with that might be able to put a shield up is the Winston.
Yeah, he's basically allowed to free fire because he's so confident that his teammates can keep everyone busy. Like they got more important things to deal with. They got to swat away that Cruz and Valutage constantly than just deal with Unfixed. But you also can't commit your one tank to go deal with Soldier every time. So it's just a consequence, I think, of the mirror composition that we're seeing. And Leaf did not really get any value on Farah this time around. I think the first fight went handedly to ex-REUNITED. They got like 3 kills immediately, so Farah just did not get the same value there. And we're headed straight into game number 2. It's going to be on Ilios, or no, sorry, Eichenwalde. Okay, I was a little confused why they would take them to Ilios immediately off the back of that control map, but it is going to be Eichenwalde, hybrid map here. Not sure who is going to be starting on offense or defense. Find out in just a moment when we get loaded in.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure everyone's on the right side. And yeah, everyone is on the right side, which is good for us. We don't have to change the overlay in that aspect. I don't know, man. And this is just very interesting. I just noticed this, a little bit of chat help as well. But, when you're dealing with a Soldier of that level, is it worth it all of a sudden to say, we're going to give up on this dive composition? We want to run more shields. We want to run a diva. We want to just get into the Soldier's face and make sure he can't execute? Or do you feel there's still a way to play around the Soldier even if you're only running like single Winston or something like that?
Well, to play around Soldier, I mean, he's honestly just super well-rounded right now. After the most recent buffs that he received, he's just doing a ton of damage. His ultimate is super reliable and pairs extremely well with another vital character, Ana. So the fact is, he's got a ranged ultimate that gets instant kills and can heal himself. Like, it's a pretty solid kit overall, and it's something like Diva actually was just nerfed for being too strong overall as well. just being able to dish out a ton of damage and absorb a ton of damage makes for, you know, slightly broken characters. But I still think Soldier's a little bit overtuned. I think Symmetra's a little bit overtuned. Genji and Tracer feel as close to they were intended, I think, as ever. So glad to see Tracer and Genji both getting a lot of mileage in this tournament. But still, I don't think we're at perfect balance yet.
Yeah, and now we're jumping on the back of Volataja as he's trying to go for a little bit of a flank. If he can get into the side room, it makes it a lot easier for the teams to move around. They will have the contested point, and looks like Leaf will be taking our advice. He is jumping onto D.Va, knowing that potentially there could be a large soldier from the side of Unfixed. However, Unfixed himself is on the Pharah himself, and now Best and honestly, the side of GamersOrigin just going to be struggling. They're going to have to dive into the background, which is, I guess, kind of the purpose right now. Poco actually takes down Rubicon in the back because no one else is watching. But in the meantime, Cruz being able to get so many dash kills is going to be good for the side of Reunited. And Sharik now back with the rest of his team, able to amplify the damage that's being dealt on the backline. Best is now stranded on the pole himself. Pulse Bomb will miss, but Cruz should be able to take down Hype, and that will be more than enough at the end of the day. Hype finally does go down, and looks like Reunited finally being able to shuffle slowly on the point. A lot more damage being done.
Unfixed on the Pharah doing a terrific job here. I think it's a kind of a weird comp that we ended up with on defense here from GamersOrigin. Going with the Winston and Reaper rather than any kind of range damage ended up biting them, I think, as they took the fight to the point immediately. Having the extra HP there was nice. Poco even got a very quick kill, but overall, I think the comp is just very strange to me. I don't know why they didn't go for a little more range damage or sustain. They had, you know, Winston, Reaper unable to help any teammates. Essentially, if he goes down, he can Wraith Walk out one time, but other than that, Tracer's just going to run circles around him. Looks like ex-REUNITED did a just terrific job with their typical dive comp, and we don't see really any changes coming out on the side of the defense except for Narwhal onto the Soldier, and Poco's still staying on that Winston.
Yeah, it looks like Cruz unfortunately will be taken out. He does get the kill on Hype, but Poco, meanwhile, staying alive, and now that D.Va is going to cause a lot of issues, Voltaja can't just do enough damage, so he will be backing off, trying to grab the health back. In fact, the health back does get stolen by Nuki. Nuki forcing him out and forcing him to retreat. But I think on the side of GamersOrigin, very happy to stabilize, and now they're going to try to retake the high ground again, make sure they're in a good position so that, honestly, they don't have to deal with Cruz again being alone up here.
Yeah, defense is, you know, they're in the best spot that they can be at the moment. Cruz will continue to try to climb up there and poke them down, but unlikely he's going to be able to find a kill in that mess. And now they're basically just choosing their point for when they want to drop down. It's going to be here at the overpass. Valutaja darting away from damage there. And Rubicon actually charging forward here with his Zen ult. He's not going to have it available for when any offensive ults come in. So that's kind of interesting. Noki dropping the sound barrier here for the defense to try to keep them alive. After killing Valutaja, should be headed the way of GamersOrigin. They just kind of need to stay near the cart, find that kill on Morte if they can, and then they'll be in great shape. But Morte actually doing a great job just surviving, headed all the way back to the cart, stays alive with his teammates. Noki finally gets the kill on him, but goes down as well. So kind of a good trade for the defense, I guess, in the end. It's GamersOrigin standing on the cart.
Yeah, and Volataja trying to some extent, and Leaf actually gets taken out of the mech as he turns around. That's just how good his Tracer tracking is. And Voltaja is now pushing the advantage. The payload is slowly advancing, and Best does not want to get staggered, so he is pushing back and allowing Voltaja to aggress on top of him. But meanwhile, on the other side, we do have Norwalk right now with the tactical visor. Cruz cannot heal, so Cruz is trying to drop back just to play a little safer. And Norwalk now with the tactical visor trying to gun down Unfixed, and with the nano boost, he's trying to do, but Unfixed is still alive. How is he not getting any kills? And that tactical visor point nano boost doesn't do anything. In fact, Cruz actually trades off and still has his Dragon Blade in the meantime. 100 health. He was down so low, but in the background, that Earth Shatter does get a little work done. But in the background, Cruz still trying to do his best, trying to hide, and that Dragon Blade is going to be used. In the meantime, Sharik taking down Norwalk, and Cruz just trying to drill as much damage as he possibly can, as this reunited squad is just brute forcing the way through this point.
They finally do clear everyone out of there. Leaf actually lasted a really long time in the D.Va suit. This is the first time, I guess, that we've seen 3 tanks without Zarya and actually include D.Va. And it seems to be working okay against Tracer and Soldier, but Genji's still just running around doing whatever he wants. Poco ends up falling off the cliff there. I'm not sure if that was an intentional reset or not, but ex-REUNITED just slamming through the castle here. End up getting a very late kill onto Narwhal, so this is going to be really tough for GamersOrigin to try and set up their defense again.
Yeah, and luckily this last part is one of the hardest defenses to push against, mainly because it's so easy for the defense to get back onto the point and contest. So it's going to be about getting clean wipes about this. And look to the side of GamersOrigin, playing very strong, but Voltaja in the background trying to do his best as trying to mow down everyone. However, that sound barrier will come out to sustain them for a little more health, and now Bembes is in the midst of everything, trying to knock away Sharik with that final range. Cruz jumping down with the Dragon Blade, trying to hit as many people as he can, has taken down Hype, and now will contribute, taking down Poco as well. Leaf stranded alone, hopefully can make his way into spawn, does not make it at all, and ex-REUNITED able to take down Norok to slowly advance the payload. Norok dies pretty late, so they will have to stream onto this point as 5 if they want to contest this. But Bembes gonna get on point, is super low right now, will get zipped through by Cruz, and HYP driven back into spawn, and this is getting so lopsided. REUNITED just not losing people at all. Hype trying to stay alive and just not able to survive, and that is a clean push. 2 minutes 23 seconds unfixed with that triple kill at the end with that tactical visor.
Yeah, everything finally came together for ex-REUNITED. I think there was a string of like 20 straight kills in the kill feed. The stall tactics were, coming in heavy from GamersOrigin, but eventually they all hit that respawn timer kind of around the same time. The very last stretch actually showed nano boosted Winston just kind of get denied from reaching the cart at all. So REUNITED just piling on the damage, keeping all those stalling characters from reaching the cart, ends up with 2 minutes and 23 seconds left after a full completion of the map. So ex-REUNITED have to feel really good about that. Their first point take went very well, and the second stretch, I mean, they really only got held up once or twice throughout the entire map. So GamersOrigin gonna have to pull out a really high-powered offense here to be able to match with that. I do kind of expect Leaf to go back onto the Pharah just because she is quite useful here in the first stretch at least, and Genji, a little bit more questionable. I think he's gonna play similarly to basically any other hybrid point. So we'll just see if he plays to that advantage or not. And we've seen in the past when they try to match, mirror-wise here with ex-REUNITED, ex-REUNITED still does have the upper hand with the characters that they specialize in. And we just saw it on the King of the Hill map, Lijiang Tower just now. So I think keeping it a little bit varied is in their best interest.
Yeah, this is honestly pretty interesting. Sharik is now on the Reinhardt. He likes running this. I think it's just easier to defend this point. He wants to defend chokeholds. It's the same logic of why he runs this on Dorado. If there is a straightaway and it's easier to do something like that, you want to have that versus the Winston. Winston shield is not great in open space, and more importantly, it also does counter, if they want to run like a soldier or something like that. This composition is a little weird, but Hype is going to be on the Pharah, I believe, as they leave spawn. So Leaf will not be on the Pharah, but instead they will be running a full dive composition. Poco is the only difference, as Poco will now be running the Mercy instead, and they're trying to pick up Voltaja. Voltaja will be recalling out of the way, and now this fight is all going to be about the air dominance.
Yeah, the composition is very interesting with Poco on Mercy, but they have HYP actually on the Pharah for the first time. Leaf is going to be sticking with the Genji. Bembes, super low on health, does finally get taken out there by Sharik, and the defense will continue to hold strong here. Leaf was kind of in the backline there, Poco as well, but Poco nowhere close to a res. Genji unable to deal with 3 people by himself, so that push gets stopped flat. Voltaja already up in the front line, protecting that front from getting breached any further by the Winston respawns. Narwhal back here on Tracer as well. Could be quite interesting. They just have to land these rockets, I think, and they'll be in a good position to try and reach the point.
Yeah, most of the divers on the side, it's going to be a large coordinated fight in that aspect. Poco does get taken down, so that Mercy Res will not be available for this next fight. It's not even up yet. It's actually only at 68%, but still he will not be able to generate charge for it. HYP trying to do it without the Mercy, pocket, and just will not be able to out-sustain the damage. The side of ex-REUNITED being able to stop them so convincingly. They do have a few ultimates that which will be ready, and I would not be surprised if the side of GamersOrigin starts getting a little desperate at this point. They do have a few ultimates which will be coming up, but a lot of this will be about resetting the fight with the Mercy ult if possible.
Mercy ult's going to be pivotal so far. Mercy hasn't really been alive very long to actually build that ultimate, so she has to stay hidden a little bit better, allow Pharah to take the brunt of those shots, and Poco dies again within, only gaining like 10%. toward her ult, so no res is going to be possible again. They're at about half of the time allotted to actually try and take A here. Narwhal's still in this fight. Yeah, it's time to run away or die when you don't have any teammates with you. So ex-REUNITED just piling up on these ultimates. Every time they kill Mercy before they have to use an ult, they've essentially won the fight. So basically just a battle of attrition that ex-REUNITED keeps benefiting from.
Yeah, and this is when it's going to start getting just a little bit worse for them, as it looks like Morte will soon have a sound barrier, and he uses a great Earthshatter, catches Norwalk and Leaf with it, using the payload as a barrier himself. You can still land it underneath, and Poco tries to go in for the res, but there's no way it's going to happen. He gets taken down almost immediately, and that's not what you want to see. You want to be able to res at least to sustain that team fight, but now it looks like Morte now has a sound barrier to be ready to use, so any offensive ultimates potentially could be closed off as StriveWire gets ready once again to prevent this forward aggression.
Yeah, and another point is that they're running this dive comp without a Zenyatta, so no Orb of Discord. They're actually just using Poco's damage anthem on Pharah primarily. Pulse Bomb goes out, does not quite get the kill on Ben Best. He does eventually fall, but there's more deaths on the side of REUNITED, basically for the first time in this game. Nanoblade coming out here now for Cruz, chops Pharah out of the sky and gets the dash reset kill onto Leaf. All the DPS are dead now, and the push is stopped flat again. There is the res, though. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Everyone comes right back to play. Good job staying hidden by Poco, but now do they have any ults to work with? No, Leaf is just going to get cut down after getting the kill on Rubicon. He on Pharah gets killed again, so it's about a 3v3 situation, maybe 3v4 as Tracer returns to the fight here, but they have to secure a single tick, and needs like 100 ults to get to this point. Cruz with the dash resets, cleans up, and you know, when they had 50 seconds left on the clock for that res, now they've only got 15 seconds left with no ults to work with, so this is a really rough spot.
Yeah, great map awareness on the side of Cruz, being able to jump to those targets incredibly quickly, not really wasting a second of his Dragon Blade, and now they're all going to be forced trickling onto the point. Norwalk will have his ultimate pulse bomb if he needs it. Ben Best does take that Morte, so that's one less heal that's going to be available. Unfixed still going to be alive. Unfortunately, does get taken down in the midst of that fight, and Ben Best is chasing now Cruz as well. So slowly but surely, the REUNITED team is falling apart, and maybe it's a little too late. I wonder if Voltage is alive. Voltage actually went down in the process, so Ben Best will be able to clean this up, and GamersOrigin now able to push onto the next point. Ben Best does do that emote, jumps up, just says, hey, we've been able to take it just as well. Morte trying to get onto the point to stall it out just a little more. Unfortunately, not able to. They now will have 2 minutes, 26 seconds to advance to the next stage.
Okay, so it's essentially impossible right now to actually meet REUNITED's time. At this point, they're honestly just hoping to finish the map. That is their only consolation at this point. There's just not enough time to actually push the payload and still have more than 2 minutes, 23 seconds remaining by the end of it. So if they can get a smooth transition here into the streets of Eichenwalde and can actually get all the way to that underpass freely, I think they might still have a shot at keeping things interesting. But if REUNITED choose to use their ults, they've got Tac Visor, Dragon Blade, Pulse Bomb goes out, and it does miss, but they have a lot of tools to work with here. Sherik actually gets hit by the Pulse Bomb of Narwhal. We've got a Tac Visor active from Unfixed, and he does get the kill on Narwhal and Leaf, so 2 DPS down, and GamersOrigin will need to reset.
And Voltage are currently just wiping out the rest of the group. The side of GamersOrigin is backing off. They do not want to fight the staggered battle, and more importantly, Cruz still has managed to hold on to his ultimate. That's actually one of the more impressive things about REUNITED is their willingness to hold on to ultimates until late game. Voltage are trying to get into the background, wants to get into a flank position. Actually, no one seems to have noticed it. In fact, he's behind it. Now he's going to create a lot of issues. HYP does miss the sleep dart. He was trying to get it on there. HYP super low right now, and this is just creating so much disruption in the background. But as it's happening, Norwalk is doing it on his own. Poco now doing his best, but gets taken down by Cruz. So Ben Best trying to wrap up the rest of this fight, but on a nade will prevent any healing from it, and he's just going to get mowed down as this occurs. Norwalk, who got the first kill to open up this specific battle, will be going down last as StriveWire is able to get in the way and do that.
It's very interesting the way that these fights go, like just contrast to the previous meta where you had 3 tanks instead of 3 DPS. These fights last so much longer now because every individual DPS is so worried about dying that they disengage quite frequently. So you end up with much longer fights overall, and it definitely does not benefit GamersOrigin. If you don't get the burst kills, just get out of there because so much time seems to be burned off just trying to secure kills that in the end are not going to matter. if you can't return to the cart with your full 6. So Leaf does get the kill on Cruz. This is a nice opportunity for them. Sharik still just bouncing around the cart with only 12 seconds left to actually reach the next checkpoint. I don't think ex-REUNITED is even worried here. Poco playing a pretty good soldier now that he is back onto the hit scan character, but ex-REUNITED, I mean, they've got plenty of opportunities here to just wait it out, wait for their characters to get back. Unfixed and Morte both have very valuable ults here to get a one-and-done fight. Soundbarrier and Tactvisor could end it all here. Narwhal and HYP don't really have a matching set of combos to go with.
Yeah, and currently Unfixed with that tactical visor nano boost, able to pick down both supports, so that's going to be so hard to sustain. Best trying to leave around, but doesn't even get out of the sight, and right now the soldier just mowing everyone down and gets that clean kill. They're able to stop it. That is a very, very good defense from the side of ex-REUNITED, bringing the final score to 2-0 in the set.
2-0 for ex-REUNITED. That means they're on tournament point now, as this is just a BO5 at Grand Finals. They've actually, I think this is like the first 2-0 that we've really seen all day long. Like every single match went to the third and final game, except for the third place match that Dignitas took down. But now we're in a position for ex-REUNITED to take it all. Cruz with the lovely play of the match here, just slicing the hell out of GamersOrigin.
Yeah, and we're going to see them bring it back to the last, well, this potentially could be the last map actually, and I'm wondering what map they're going to take it on. There's so many control maps, you don't want to bring it back because you saw what happened on Lijiang Tower. REUNITED just has the ability to dominate you on so many maps. It seems like once they get the engine going, they're incredibly hard to stop. So we'll see exactly where they want to bring them next. Is there a map that they have a specific preference on?
I mean, all that's left is 2 control maps in Volskaya, right? So Nepal, Ilios, or Volskaya. They've already gotten beaten on control. It looks like they did choose Nepal rather than Volskaya, so I'm okay with that. But I really don't know what their odds are going to be like. Will they try to mirror match them again? Will they pull out the Pocket Pharah for Leaf that actually gave them a little bit of success on Lijiang Tower? We'll just have to see. I think Nepal is actually pretty solid for Pharah on at least the Sanctum point, of course, but also Village and Shrine can be quite good for her as well if you're facing a low hit scan team, which is what REUNITED likes to run. Unfixed, kind of the only person that they relegate to shooting upwards. It is still, you know, it's still just going to be a constant battle of controlling Valutaja and Cruz from killing your entire backline and still not allowing Unfixed to do that consistent source of damage from far away. So I think that's, you know, the reason the comp is working so well is just consistent Soldier and Winston damage, and Valutaja and Cruz can come in and burst and finish off targets very easily.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment, and it looks like they're staying with the same composition, and this has, I don't want to say that this is probably starting a new craze for a lot of these EU teams, but we've seen so many more teams adapt to kind of the single tank composition. A lot of them are running this exact same thing on King of the Hill, and it is working for REUNITED, which I think is definitely a great thing. I think that you always want to mimic what is creating success. However, I'm wondering if teams should start thinking about what they can do to, you know, counter it, to get in the way of it, to take down some of the threats, to avoid some of these 1v1s that they're not really winning. And it's tough because so many high skill cap players are on the side of ex-REUNITED now. However, this is not to count out people like Poco, like Leaf, like Norwalk, who have been able to go toe-to-toe with this, but they need to bring their A game if they want to make sure they can keep this going to another game.
As the teams get into position here, looks like both sides are actually favoring the ledge. I wonder if that's just a result of the Winstons being able to leap over and target whatever they want out in the open like that. Rubicon standing in the very far back here as Anna. No Zenyatta in play at all, but it's going to be GamersOrigin here scooping up 3 kills very quickly as the fight gets underway here. They should be the first ones to grab the point. Unfixed, valiant effort there, taking out Best and Noki before going down, but this should be all GamersOrigin now.
Yeah, so that's a good initial start. You want to be able to apply the pressure onto ex-REUNITED. You want to make sure that, hey, we can win the first fight. Let's get some percentage on the board, and let's try to make sure we can sustain and stabilize our defense in a very beneficial way there. So Voltaja is looking for some weak points in the defense right now. He's basically just scoping around, using his blinks back and forth to change his position and make it hard for people to guess where he is. In the meantime, though, Leaf is dealing with a lot of people on the side of ex-REUNITED being able to stay alive, but he will get picked off, which I don't think was part of the plan at all. all. I think he was just planning to stay alive and harass him just a little bit. However, Volataja does get traded off on the point, so I guess it's more so even. Reunited does not want to push in solo, but Cruz will be trying to get a quick pickup. Sharik does manage to take down Norwalk, and Cruz staying alive somehow. I don't know how he's still alive with 7-3 HP. How is he doing this? Finally does get taken down, and Volataja back on point with that pulse bomb ultimate.
Looks like Unfixed got 2 kills with 1 Helix rocket there. Very nice stuff, killing both supports with that. But I think the reason he was able to survive is because the nano-visored soldier got put to sleep. Rubicon put an end to Poco's killing spree just by laying him flat on his back and allowed Cruz to live just a little bit longer. Of course, he did go down in the end. But here we go as GamersOrigin for the first time actually gets shut down. They will need a new course of entry. It's going to be Narwhal going up the top right side as Tracer to start peeling apart this defense. He actually just leaps right in. I'm expecting a recall there. He does drop the pulse bomb and gets the kill on Shark. So that's a great start here. GamersOrigin have the door wide open, but they walk directly into Unfixed and Volataja and get killed immediately. So ex-REUNITED, good job not losing their heads when they lose their tank, staying in control here and getting multiple kills here. Ben Best, the most recent to fall in GamersOrigin, will just have to let another 15% slip away.
Yeah, and this is great from his side right now. Unfixed, that was a huge momentum killer. You could definitely see the side of GamersOrigin gearing up, getting ready to do like an execute of some sort. Plus, they did get a very early pick, so that's a 5v6. Good job on Unfixed, knowing that that's the perfect opportunity to drop an ultimate. Volataja will outduel Norwalk, meaning that it's once again a 5v6. I don't know if the side of GamersOrigin really wants to fight this, not knowing where everyone else is. We're going to jump on, though, with Leaf, as he does have that Dragon Blade. He's going to be the one who will execute, if anything, because he has the most offensive, he has the best offensive tool currently to use. Leaf trying to figure out where he wants to go, and this is just getting stranded out here. He's getting divided from the rest of his team and will get picked off in the process. This is just getting so disruptive for the side of GamersOrigin. They're not able to stabilize and not able to engage either.
My ultimate is almost ready.
Okay.
My ultimate is almost ready.
Oh, sorry, Josh, are you still there? Alright, in the meantime though, Cruz is still fighting with this and has the Dragon Blade in case he needs it. Leaf being able to use it in the background. Of course, Poco does use a nano visor of his own, trying to hit the targets in the backline. However, that nano boost does go off onto Leaf himself. Leaf trying to do as much as he can, do as much damage to trade off, but it looks like the side of Reunite is able to stay alive for just a little bit now. Of course, the remaining people left aren't really, honestly, huge damage carriers. They are only supports remaining, so they will be able to clean off the fight. As Josh has left the game, he will be relogging in. But Leaf being able to close it out, that is a very good ultimate from the side of Poco and Leaf, using that nano blade as well as getting the tactical visor off, using the great benefit. They will be able to turn the point just as it hits 99%. So that means they have stalled out Reunited for just a little bit more. And ironically, Reunited for the first time in a long time doesn't really have a lot of ultimates. They do not have a great option to retake this point, but they will be able to do that. And just give me a second, guys.
You can still hear me, right? Just making sure. Okay, so I am back into the game now. Thank you very much, Scribe. Continue casting.
Yeah, and right now, Reunited is going to get staggered just a little bit more. They're down to 87%, so they will have to figure out a way to go almost immediately. Unfortunately, Leaf killing Cruz means that they won't have that dash onto the point. There's only 7 seconds left, and I wonder what they're waiting for. I think they're waiting for Sharik to go for the jump, and he will go on there. Unfixed in the meantime will be activating his tactical visor, but it just looks like everyone's getting cleaned up so much quicker, and overtime will be ticking down. Reunited, no luck there, even though they got to 99%. Will be looking to hopefully take it back in the next map.
Yeah, sorry I distracted ex-REUNITED so badly that they dropped a whole round because of it, but it's going to be GamersOrigin locking it up in the end. They actually had, they had a really good start as well. ex-REUNITed grabbed it back from them, and it's been a really good tug of war kind of throughout all of these control maps, Lijiang Tower before this, but GamersOrigin getting on the board here for Nepal does give them a little bit of confidence. This is tournament point basically for ex-REUNITed. If they just win Nepal, they will win the entire thing. 350 euros for first place. for our first StriveWire monthly brawl. So thanks to all 3,600-ish of you guys watching on our channel. There are some other languages as well, if you didn't know. You can watch it in Russian, French, and Korean as well. But as the doors open here on the Sanctum, we're not seeing any composition switches, still just a straight-up mirror, except for Rubicon on Zenyatta and HYP on Ana.
Yeah, and they're using these slight changes to duel out. Leaf does manage to catch out Voltaja, so he will have to burn out that rewind. And this fight is going to get very intense as they're trying to zip through, do as much damage as possible. Poco does get a very early kill on Sharake, and this is going to be big as he takes down Morte as well. So he's been able to honestly cut down so many members of the reunited squad, and now Cruz still staying alive somehow will take down Leaf, but unfortunately will be traded out. So Poco, very good job with all this sustained damage, will be taking down Rubicon, and he's just been so good and making sure, and wow, great Helix Rocket as well, being able to almost heat sink everyone on the map. He will be the one to take care of Reunited. Reunited now in a position where they have no choice but to go back and reset.
At this point, we've got all of ex-REUNITED flooding in on the right side. Of course, if they just go the opposite way of Winston, they don't have to deal with him, and they can actually try and surround and kill Narwhal instead. But they do just push out through the hail of shurikens and bullets, somehow still find the kill on Noki, so ex-REUNITED get maybe a little bit lucky there on their exit, and Unfix finds another kill on Narwhal. So that should be pretty much in hand. GamersOrigin were the first to flip the point, but I think ex-REUNITED should be able to claim it back. Nano Visor was so late in that fight that Poco could not get any mileage off of it. Cruz pops the Dragon Blade anyway to secure the point for sure. They get 3 more kills, so that's going to be an easy 15-20% before GamersOrigin can start the next fight.
Yeah, and I'm very excited to see this potentially come into fruition with them. And now ex-REUNITED able to stabilize back on the point. Unfix is waiting for his ultimate charge to build up. 94% is very soon, meaning a few stray hits will give him the ability to do that, and Rubicon with that Transcendence should be able to keep the majority of the team alive. He does get stuck, so that means you're not going to have that tactical visor for the next fight. Voltaja will have to be strong and carry the rest of this fight for him. Morte inside will be knocking off Leaf, I believe, and now Voltaja in the background will need to find a way to duel out everyone and keep himself alive. Norwalk not really seeing him right now. I mean, Cruz is trying to help out Voltaja, taking off the tension from there. He will recall back onto the stage, so the presence is still being maintained. And wait, did they knock out? Morte got knocked off, so he's not able to use the sound barrier because you need to hit the ground in order to use it. That's actually one of the weird instances where that interaction actually made a huge difference. And now Sharik trying to regroup and the side of Reunited getting booped out. Luckily, they still managed to keep a lot of their ultimates, so they should be able to be available for this next fight.
Yeah, poor Lucio has to actually make contact with the ground before the sound barrier can come out, unlike Zenyatta's Transcendence, for example, or Mercy's Res, where they just hit the button and it happens. But that lag can, you know, come into huge play as it did there. Leaf actually getting an immediate kill on Morte again disallows him from using sound barrier a second time. Noki hits the sound barrier for his side, but only catches 3 of his teammates, and Unfixed happens to kill 2 of them through it anyways. Sharik here with the Primal Rage just smacking people off the point. So ex-REUNITED in very good shape here to take it back. Cruz actually getting up in the face of Poco prevents him from doing anything to stop it, and ex-REUNITED will grab the point back. 48% for now, probably up to 65% or so by the time GamersOrigin are able to group up and get battling again. They do have 3 ults. Nano Blade could be coming out on this push, but Unfixed has his tac visor as well.
Yeah, Reunited has been so good with conserving their ultimates recently. Yes, finally Morte able to get that sound barrier off, making sure everyone's able to sustain through the initial part of this fight. Unfixed still not popping the tactical visor. Maybe he's waiting for an avenue where he gets more clear shots of everything. But in addition, it doesn't look like he needs it. His team has been able to deal with this more than enough. Rocket jumps on top to give a better vantage point. We're going to check out Cruz right now, who's still sitting on that Dragon Blade. And this is going to be very important for him to use if he wants to clear out the point extremely easily. We will see whether him or Leaf will be able to use it first. Leaf, get that Nano Blade. We'll be trying to use it, but Unfixed able to take him down. In the meantime, Cruz just zipping through the backlines will get dunked down by Naki. So neither of these Nano Blades, neither of these Dragon Blades able to do a lot. Poco trying to cut down his main pillars again, will drill down Morte, but slowly but surely that point is clicking onto the very top. And I think Voltaja actually still waiting, trying to buy some more time, but unfortunately not able to stall the point a little more. It will reach 79 for the side of GamersOrigin.
Man, ex-REUNITED started that fight so strong, but I guess there were 2 kills on both sides, so the slow war of attrition ended up favoring GamersOrigin. This time HYP and Noki off by themselves as the supports. It's a little bit dangerous, but now we've got Ben Best popping his Primal Rage, trying to knock people down into the pit. Cruz is there just deflecting everything off of the point. ex-REUNITED just spilling onto the point, really want to get that flipped over, while all of GamersOrigin are kind of outside on the fringes. Ben Best going to leap in there, doesn't get a kill, Poco does, but Unfixed and Valuetaja clearing the point right now. ex-REUNITED are going to be able to flip the point and get a point on the board here for Nepal. So that'll take us to 1-1 on the map. Keep in mind, REUNITED is already up 2-0 in the series, so if they can just lock up 2 more of these stages on Nepal, they will be our tournament champions. GamersOrigin fighting valiantly against them to try and rewrite the story in their favor.
Yeah, and this is really good on their side. We did see, you know, how strong GamersOrigin is, though. So I'm thinking that they definitely can have the fortitude and mentality to take it back on this next map. I do think they will be going to Village next, which, you know, unfortunately we won't be seeing a Pharah on this map as it's not super great. But we should be able to see a very early on engagement. If the side of GamersOrigin can win these 1v1 fights, win these skirmishes at the very beginning when they're jockeying for position, they should be able to actually, you know, they should be able to maintain position and stabilize on the point, gain some percentage, and at least give themselves that a little bit of an advantage early on in the game. And it looks like they will be meeting on the top left side.
As it is, Zenyatta and Unfixed are actually splitting down to the lower level just because they have that range and they figure they'll be able to get the sight lines anyway. I actually like that play. Just keeping Zen alive makes it a little bit easier there. Valuetaja getting right up in the face of the enemies, but Unfixed finds the first kill, and GamersOrigin just back off the point. Poco being a bit crazy there, does manage to keep his head, but can't really get anything done. ex-REUNITED grabbed the point basically for free after that first fight, only had 1 casualty on either side.
Yeah, and currently Unfixed is playing very safe. He knows they're all coming from the upper left side, so he's trying his best to force them to face up against him, and he has the range on it, so he knows that not many people can confront it. In the background, however, Leaf is jumping back and forth, and HYP does take down Morte, so it's not a lot of healing, and the side of GamersOrigin is now rushing onto the site. REUNITED has kind of left everyone alone right there, so they're going to have to find a way to outdo everyone. Valuetaja does get the trade on there, and somehow Cruz does get a huge kill on the aspect, but he will get traded, so everyone's dying around it. Rubicon from the outside, keeping everyone healed, and will be fragging out with that, takes down Leaf with a Discord Orb, and also puts some damage down on Norwalk. So ex-REUNITED, able to use that Zenyatta stand from outside the point to both sustain as well as get some frags in.
GamersOrigin, nice try there, trying to get the point flipped, but they were denied basically at the last second by Sherrick, who's just been on Winston for like 90% of the day today, and I'm still just kind of shocked that as a solo tank, he has been able to be so impactful, keep his healers alive. I really wonder how much damage he's blocked, how many times he's Primal Rage, because he does a lot of work for being the only beefy character on the team. Makes it kind of a lot of pressure, but the fact is he's super mobile, and with Zenyatta or Ana keeping him healed up, can be quite formidable on damage as well. So Unfixed, Cruz, both have ults to work with. Shark looking to pop Primal Rage at a moment's notice, but we do have lots of ultimates available for GamersOrigin. If they're going to retake it, this will be the push.
Yeah, and this is what's going to be an issue. Poco comes out with that tactical visor plus that nano boost, and now trying to find some squishy targets to drill through. Unable to find Sharik immediately, but Will might perhaps take down Morte. Unfortunately, gets knocked into the corner and is just going to get juggled by Sharik. This is the worst feeling in the world. You want to do some damage, but all you can aim at is a monkey who's knocking you up actually. And Valuetaja going in for what he does best. He's trying to delay them from getting onto the point, and that pulse bomb does more than enough. Forces out a very early on sound barrier, so actually will not have it for the remainder of this fight. Valuetaja staying alive and trying his best to make sure that Ben Best not able to do the damage he will be able to do. However, in the background, there's so much that they can do. Morte goes down without a fight, and Cruz trying to stay alive, buying some more time for the rest of the team. They're not getting on the point. Overtime will be taken down relatively slowly. Hype gets run right through, and now Cruz will be backing up. He does not want to burn he does not want to burn his Dragon Blade unless he's with his team that has follow-up. However, in the meantime, they will be regrouping just as GamersOrigin will be resetting their position. They want to make sure they're fighting as six and no one gets caught out.
It's really weird, and actually one of my pet peeves when they just leave the point completely open like this, especially when ex-REUNITED really only has to flip it one time and start that overtime burn down. Morte comes in immediately with the sound barrier and the speed boost. There's a Dragon Blade out now as well. Narwhal drops the pulse bomb on Sharik, but does not get the kill for it. It's going to be ex-REUNITED. Cruz getting 2 kills on Noki and Poco, and also a follow-up kill there on HYP. Should get the job done. Leaf is the only surviving member of GamersOrigin. He's not going to be able to prevent it from flipping, and now overtime is ticking down. Genji is the only sole survivor here for GamersOrigin. There's no way he survives that 3v1 situation, but Ben Best is back now, zapping down Morte the best he can. Pulse Bomb goes off, Valutage takes care of him, and it looks like ex-REUNITED are on their way to a 1 lead on the ball.
Yeah, and Unfixed just pops that just for grins, trying to use it to make sure that he kills everyone else on the point. And now ex-REUNITED up 2-1 on this Nepal map. This is actually tournament point. If they win this last round, they will be the winners of the StriveWire monthly brawl for February. And GamersOrigin just seems to be a little bit out of ideas. Every time they get these good executes off, they just aren't able to super convert. The good thing about Reunited is that they've been able to hold on to their ultimates consistently throughout the entire battle. Cruz never feels the need to Dragon Blade unless he absolutely has to, right? Sometimes he's willing to outweigh the other team's Dragon Blade, tries to get himself into a better position, right? But that's the good thing about it, is that he has all the support from everyone else. There's so many carries on this ex-REUNITED squad, but I still believe in Poco, Narwhal, and Lee to take this hopefully to a 5th map on Nepal, and they're gonna do it right here.
The Shrine can be a very tough battle to kind of retake the point. If GamersOrigin get a nice first fight, they can really snowball into a good victory on Shrine, just because you kind of start out with a high ground advantage, lots of LOS to work with, and all these flankers love this point. Tracer and Genji have tons of stuff to climb around, blink around, grab some health packs, and the first fight already going to favor ex-REUNITED. Unfixed taking out that tank and Leaf in back-to-back kills there, and Noki goes down as well, and Cruz basically just playing it safe. He's letting Valutage drag the healers away. He's letting Unfixed in the front line deal with the tank Benbest, and you know, Cruz is just kind of doing whatever he feels like helps where he's needed, and it's ex-REUNITED taking the point first.
Yeah, and they've gotten the momentum for this. They look like they will be having the more ultimates a little bit quicker. Voltaja, 88% on the pulse bomb. He's been getting those so much more often, and so like more than half the time it's been high impact pulse bomb kills. So as long as he has that, he'll be able to disrupt the backline as he pleases. Now in the meantime, Unfixed is trying to guard his teammates. Poco will take down Voltaja, but however, Leaf takes down Rubicon as well, and this is just not going well for the side of ex-REUNITED. They're not able to get the kills in return. However, Unfixed will try his best, will take down Hype, and will run off instead. He does not want to get staggered. He's trying to get some free ultimate charge on this side, but the side of GamersOrigin able to immediately retake.
As Leaf gets the final kill there on Morte, causes a little bit of a stagger, so they'll enjoy some extra percentage from that. But as the ex-REUNITED squad regroups, they're actually just going to come straight through the front door, it appears, maybe split off just a Genji to flank the right side, but again, like, it really does favor people who already control the point, just because you can use all this LOS and high ground to your advantage. Valutage tosses out a pulse bomb onto nothing, kind of a rare whiff from him. Usually you do see some kills connected there. Unfixed gets the kill on Benbest. Leaf goes down as well. Morte is on that kill feed more than any other. Lucio doing a great job for his team, and ex-REUNITED in a great position to retake the point again.
Yeah, Poco is running off. He still does have that tactical visor, which is going to come into great help on this following retake. All he needs to do really is find all the squishy targets, which is kind of where the problem has been lying, right? Morte, Rubicon, among always playing very safely with the team. This team's actually kind of a death ball if you really think about it, and you brought up before Sharik being able to guard the rest of these dive composition, and Voltaja does bait out a Helix Rocket knowing that he's going to dodge out of the way anyway. So Poco finding a good avenue, wants to take down Morte. Morte will drop the sound barrier, and it is successful, so he's been able to do it. Poco trying his best to do something, but unfortunately gets taken down. Leaf in the meantime also gets dropped as well, and this game is just going from bad to worse on the side of GamersOrigin. Cruz with that great Dragon Blade, able to do work with it, drill them out, as well as opening up Unfixed to get those kills in the finals. And now 77%, and you gotta be frustrated. Poco has just been holding on to this tactical visor. He does not have a great avenue for it, and what's worse, Rubicon now has Transcendence, so they can probably out-heal the damage that he does put out.
Sound barrier comes out here from Noki. Speed boost gives GamersOrigin their last offensive chance here. Leaf with the Dragon Blade does find Rubicon very quickly, so if they can lean on this 6v5 as long as possible, they may be able to flip the point. HYP gets extremely low. Cruz with the dash through does get the kill, so 5v5. Rubicon will return to the point with that Zenyatta ult at some point. They need to clear things out quickly. Poco pops the tac visor. Narwhal gets 3 kills, one of them off the back of a pulse bomb, another just headshotting Unfixed in the face. So GamersOrigin still standing do flip the point with 99%. ex-REUNITED are in one-and-done territory. They did manage to save both the ultimates of Unfixed and Rubicon, so they have a support ult and an offensive ult to work with here. They just need to get in position, so it's going to be on Sharik to get them in the spot they need. Zenyatta ult I do expect to be used proactively to get them onto the point safely, and Unfixed, if he can find 1 or 2 kills with Attack Visor, that's game.
Yeah, and everyone's going in Transcendence, keeps everyone alive. Voltage just doesn't have to burn recall as quickly, can just blitz out and Unfixed. Meanwhile, with that tactical visor in the background, doing as much as he can. And Norok finally does get a trade on Rubicon, so you don't have to worry about that healer slash DPS healer as much. But, I mean, you don't have to worry about that one guy, but you still have to worry about the rest of your team. Voltage now up to 76%. They're just being able to take it over, and overtime will be ticking down, and Norwalk has to be the hero here. He has to make it onto the side. Gets immediately pulverized by the side of Voltage, and this is just going from bad to worse. Poco can't even sustain himself on the point, and Ben Bez trying his best to do his darndest, and right now the side of his Winston is trying to primal rage his way, but he's just feeding ultimate to the other team. Cruz takes down Leaf, then takes down Ben Best, and overtime is taking down, and that's GG. That's the tournament. 3-0 for ex-REUNITED in the grand finals. They are our winners of the StriveWire monthly melee for the month of February.
Congratulations to the ex-REUNITED squad, aka TBA, aka Ununited, aka D-United, aka Reunited. Whatever it is, they are the winners here. 3-0 in the grand finals, and they got off to such a crazy start in this tournament yesterday. We started them in a group match against Pale Goldenrod, and ex-REUNITED was taken out 0-2 to start the tournament. They lost their very first match 0-2. But thanks to groups, they managed to stay alive, came back and battled all the way back, all the way through the quarterfinals and semifinals today to make it here into their grand final performance. 3-0, Lijiang Tower, Nepal, and Eichenwalde all going pretty favorably their direction. GamersOrigin played some amazing matches all weekend long as well. Congratulations to them, taking second place and getting a lot of name exposure, beating out teams like Dignitas and the ex-Rocks squad. Chavs, Bonkers, all did not get as far. So GamersOrigin, very, very proud of their accomplishment. They should feel quite good about what they were able to do in this first StriveWire tournament. But other than that, I think, it's just amazing games all weekend long. We had only 16 European teams, and they showed some incredible parity, lots of 3-game sets, lots of games decided just by a single meter or a single round in a control map. So I think the EU scene is looking pretty healthy, and I hope we get to see a lot more of these teams coming up.
Yeah, I definitely agree, guys, and thank you guys so much for watching. Obviously, our loyal audience, which has been here for, I think, net total, we've been casting, I think, like 15 hours this weekend, but we're about to hit the 7-hour mark for this tournament. But thank you guys so much for joining us, and obviously, congratulations to our winners, but let's not forget to congratulate our second place winners as well. GamersOrigin, not a lot of exposure from the chat. A lot of people didn't know what they were, but I hope you guys do take a look at the VODs. I think that the French stream did definitely cover them. They're definitely a team to be reckoned with. They've been taking, while this game did look, a little one-sided, they've had all these great experience, all these great performances. They were taking ex-REUNITED to the brink for a lot of these matches. If you can see individually, they've been able to match up with them toe-to-toe. Now, of course, it's all about that last meter that you have to go through, and maybe ex-REUNITED just had that, the benefit of being a more practiced team. They've been on this stage before, so maybe that's what came out at the very end. However, congratulations to GamersOrigin, the same, and of course our third place team, Team Dignitas, as well as our fourth place team, Team X-Rocks. Honestly, everyone that played in this tournament, all 16 teams, really showed their best. I think that everyone is probably excited for this. And I remember Cruz coming in day one of the chat, and he told us it wasn't about the money. It was the fact that we wanted to play competition, we wanted the hype, and I can't imagine they were feeling anything less than hype after that great victory on their side. So before we sign off, I want to thank our sponsors once again, StriveWire, for being the tournament client that we've been using in the background. It's actually really helpful, allowing teams to ready up and, more importantly, give players and the teams participating easy access to tournament administrators and making sure they get in contact with them ASAP. We always know how hard it is for tournaments organizers to get in touch with teams and vice versa as well, so that's a great way to do it. Thank you so much for Phoenix.gg for supporting this tournament as well. I know someone there was in the chat and just saying, hey, we're looking out for you guys. Thank you so much for supporting EU Overwatch, and most importantly, thank you so much to Nucky for being just tournament admin so far, arranging this tournament, getting getting the teams together, getting the cast together. This has been a month-long effort. This has been in the works for so long just to get more tournaments for EU. Thank you guys so much. And Josh, do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody. We hit 5,000 peak viewers today, and it was much less than that yesterday. So thanks everyone who came out and watched the series today. I hope that this will continue on. I would love to continue casting it, even if I do have to start at 7 a.m. every single time. But the European matches were totally worth it. If you enjoyed the casting or just enjoyed me hanging out, I'm at Ask Joshi on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. I stream basically every single day, starting around 7 p.m. Pacific. So if you are interested in seeing me more often, that is the way to do it. And I will be casting some more tournaments in February. Already got a few marked down. So lots of Overwatch action coming up in the coming months. I'm excited to be here. Thank you, Scribe, for casting with me and doing all the production. I know yesterday was a bit bumpier. Today seemed to go a lot smoother. It's like spinning plates. You can't let any of them fall. And today we did a much better job with it. So thanks very much for running production. I know what a pain in the ass it is having to control the camera and all the casters and all the assets and things like that. So everyone, please give a round of applause for Scribe in the chat as well.
All right, and honestly, thank you so much for those kind words. But yeah, guys, honestly, I do want to say some words at the end of this cast for everyone in chat right now. This tournament is just one step that we want to do in order to develop more exposure for EU teams. This tournament honestly came about because a lot of European teams that have been playing for such a long time are losing organizations. They're not getting enough attention from Blizzard, mainly because the Overwatch League currently is an NA-based venture. We don't have much details about when it's going to come to Europe, if teams are going to be able to play from Europe, if European states are going to be represented. So because of this, we wanted to host this tournament to get European teams a lot more exposure, and be sure to follow your favorite teams. If you found a team that you ended up really liking, make sure to follow them on social media and let them know, hey, great job. It doesn't have to be, teams don't have to win for you to be great fans of them. You just have to make sure that, you support them, let them know that you're always there for them, and more importantly, guys, get the word out about some of the best organizations here. We saw the Chavs and they do not have a sponsor, an unsponsored team, the Chavs, that brought this ex-REUNITED squad to 3 games. Ex-REUNITED technically doesn't even have a team either. So, I mean, obviously get the tension out for them. We saw a lot of ex-organizations to make sure that, hey, plug your favorite team. Tell TSM, hey, you should pick up this team or you should pick up that team or something like that, right? So eventually, if we can get a lot of these EU team sponsors to be able to go out to these tournaments, able to do lands, able to do a lot more of that stuff. So, guys, thank you so much for support, and hopefully you guys can take the next step and help us out in getting them more exposure. But anyway, guys, I think that's been enough. I'm going to watch the Super Bowl in a few hours on my side, so I'm going to head out. But thank you guys so much once again for chilling on chat. And thank you guys so much, chat. I mean, people don't appreciate enough the fact that you guys come in and are able to keep us attention, and for all the criticisms and everything. Guys, make sure to let us know on Twitter. Our Twitters are right below our name. You can find me at ScribeOW with a 1 and 7 I, and of course Josh over there at Ask Joshi. Make sure to follow him on Twitter as well as on Twitch. So get him. Make sure you catch up on all your Ask Joshi content. But thank you guys so much. We'll be throwing it over to our starting soon screen, aka our ending screen, with some music. But guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and obviously congratulations to our winner, ex-REUNITED, and hope to see you guys next month.
Bye.